Hi everyone, I'm Rob Watson. I'm the module leader for TECH3022, Advanced Social Media Production. And what I want to do over the next couple of minutes is just to give you an overview of what the module will entail, how we're going to work and what's involved on a kind of weekly basis. So the first thing is, this is a social media module, and so we'll be looking at and using a lot of social media as a tool for developing a collaborative project. In the past, I've run this module for the last couple of years, and I've used the idea of our relationship with food and sugar and processed food. Some of you might remember this from the first year when you did the introduction to social media module. Well, I want to take the idea a bit further because I think it's a really great idea that gets into the way we think and the way that we use media. And food is a media. It's a way of communicating. It represents something to us, but at the same time, it's also got a very practical value to us. And what I want to get you doing as part of your coursework is to produce a YouTube documentary. Collaborative YouTube documentary. You'll be marked individually, but you'll make a contribution to developing a video, a documentary. And I want you to look at and focus on how sugar drinks like Lucozade, Mountain Dew, Red Bull, those kind of drinks, how they're sold and they're kind of used in the games community, the electronic games community. So those kind of big tournaments, you know, the ones with kind of thousands of people watching a group of people playing Call of Duty or something like that. So I thought that'd be a nice way of kind of narrowing it down a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll look at how sugar and how these drinks are communicated and shared and discussed on social media, and how people use conversations and chats and discussions to explain what they do and why they do it. So we've got a kind of an angle here which is kind of looking at how people use things, and on the other side we're thinking about what we can do to represent that. So it's a collaborative project. So each week there'll be a lecture which will take about 50 minutes, and there'll be a lab session which will take about 2 hours, just under 2 hours. And in the lecture session, I'll do a presentation based on a PowerPoint presentation where I'll go through the key issues that are associated with the kind of methods for investigating the subject, and then the way that we can work collaboratively and use social media as a kind of collaborative tool. Now, what I won't do is I won't share the slides with you unless there's an essential diagram or something like that. What I do instead, because I like to use a lot of media and I like to make it as visual as I can, but what I want to do is I'll give you a PDF document. You can download it from the module wiki, which outlines all of the key reading and the text that I've used and quoted from in the lecture. So it's something for you to read and engage with. There'll be links. If there's any essential diagrams in the lecture, then these will be reproduced in this summary. So that'll be available hopefully before the lecture each week, so that you can get a sense of what the lecture is going to be about and get any reading done that you want to associate with that. So this is the academic component of the course, and there is an exam in this module. So this will kind of focus, 50% is coursework and 50% is exam related. So you're going to kind of be questioned on the things that you're going to read about and that we'll discuss in the lectures. The practical sessions in the workshops, they'll be entirely based on working collaboratively and getting to know each other and working as a team in order to make a documentary, a YouTube style documentary. So these will be available each week. You'll be able to get this information. Those of you might remember we started using this a few years ago, but we have a wiki, a commons wiki at DMU, and it's wiki.our.dmu.ac.uk. And what I'll do is I'll post links to the wiki. There's a page on the wiki for the module. You'll be using the wiki as your collaborative tool to work together in order to be able to share and exchange and plan information. So if you go to this site, you should be able to find a link to the TECH3022 module quite easily, or you can search for it, and we can keep updating the information that's on here. So videos to watch out for, extra reading to look out for, that kind of stuff. Now, there's 4 books at the module. I chose 4 this year because I thought it's kind of quite important that we get into doing some academic reading, but you might have come across some of these already. So the first one is Jenkins, Ford and Green, Spreadable Media, and this is covering the idea of looking at how media in the post-broadcast age, if you like, television's dead, radio's dead in its traditional form. So how does media spread? And the tagline that Jenkins, Ford and Green say is that if it doesn't spread, it's dead. So this will be a key text to get us thinking. The Participatory Cultures Handbook by Delwish and Henderson is an edited book with lots of different articles, really useful, about how and why people and the need in the future to encourage participation in media rather than just simply transmitting it out from a central broadcaster. Now, there's 2 books which relate to the kind of style of research that we're going to be undertaking in the module, and you might call the kind of style of research digital sociology. There's a fancy word for it, which Robert Kozinets calls it, which is netnography. Ethnography for virtual worlds is what Bollerstuff and others call it. These are 2 key texts, 2 key books to get and read. The exam questions will be based around them. I'll go into more detail about how the exam's organised, but it's really useful if you can get the books as early as possible, if you can get access to them, buy them second-hand on Amazon, wherever you can, get them from the library, the DMU library, then these will be very useful to kind of get under your belt as we go along. So how I like to work each week, the lecture, just kind of come and let it unfold, listen. There's lots of things, take lots of notes, mind map, doodles, whatever feels comfortable for you. In the workshops, it's really a case of us having lots of conversations and trying things out and looking at examples and discussing things. So the first few weeks, we're going to watch a few films. So it'll be useful to get us thinking about different ways that we approach and use food and sugar and the kind of idea of how we mediate ourselves through those kind of products. So hopefully you've had a good week this week and you've enrolled okay and you're happy to be back in Leicester. I'm looking forward to running the module and seeing what we can come up with this year. So have a great time.